So data is so readily available these days to investors, extremely available. Everybody knows the sites, different vendors. Maybe even you're able to pull some data from local websites and stuff, depending on your county and state. I want to talk a little bit about GoForClose, multi-channel marketing, and overall just best practices through, again, mistakes and lessons learned of the best way to target this data after they have an idea of either staying in their, of investors listening to this, after they have an idea of if they want to stay in their current market, like their specific market, maybe adjust where they're marketing to. And if you guys are listening to this, be sure to click on the link in the description as well, goforclose.com/hottest markets, which is a resource Josh provided on our mastermind call last week, which is really cool.
Yeah. So, as far as the data goes, I think one of my favorite quotes is perfect is the enemy of good. Mm-hmm. And so many investors get in this trap of paralysis by analysis and trying to be like, oh, there's list stacking and, I got to get these like super niche lists and everything like that. I see there's two camps. One is you have a smaller budget. And in that case, all you need to do is go after those super niche lists. But if you want to scale and if you want to go big, you're going to run out of those super, super niche lists. And so you need to really be hitting every single absentee owner. And when you're hitting every absentee owner, guess what? You're going to be hitting those specialty lists, whether you know it or not. And as you get more sophisticated, you can absolutely build in segmentation. So you have different marketing messages to different people and all this good stuff. But if you're just getting going, or even if you've been going a while for this, but you're not getting the results you want, rather than, spending, being in the middle, I highly suggest either going super niche or go really big with a large volume. But so many people get caught in this middle ground where they're trying to go super niche, but they don't really, and it just gets over convoluted. So, as far as the list goes, it is really tough to come up with good lists anymore, because all those niche special lists, like I mentioned, the code violations, the water shutoffs, the tax delinquencies, they're readily available now. And so it is where we're at, and where I think a lot more people are going to be going here in 2021 is really into the predictive modeling. So, and it's been around for a while. There's a site that I was using back in 2017 called Offers. It's OFFRS.com. And they're more good for realtors, but they essentially built their own predictive modeling back in 2017, where they looked at things like how many times are people going to Zillow.com and other things to indicate, hey, these people are likely to move. Now, that doesn't really help investors that much. I mean, that part is good. What you need on top of that, though, is what their likelihood to default is, what their likelihood to be in distress. So with those two combinations, if you can figure out, okay, people's credit scores are dropping, hey, people are late on their payments. If you can figure out those two pieces of the puzzle, that's really where our data world is going, is trying to predict who's going to hit that pre-foreclosure list before that pre-foreclosure list hits PropStream and the whole world has it.
Interesting. Very interesting. And then how about, let's talk about now just the best way of reaching out to them. Now that we have this, you're talking about maybe new ways of gathering data before it gets to public places. Like you mentioned, like PropStream, ListSource, things like that. Let's talk multi-channel marketing and why that's been effective for you.
Yeah. So it's crazy how far text messaging has gone. I remember I was at the InvestorFuse, do you call it mastermind, or I don't know what it was, but we all gathered in Austin, and in the end of, I think it was 2018. And somebody came, who was it? It was Joseph from
Joe T.
Joe T. Yeah, I don't know.
First guy ever to use, not ever, but to use Lead Sherpa.
Yeah, so he was talking about this new thing called Lead Sherpa, and what's mind-boggling is this was only 2019. I mean, that was basically the end of 2018, and since then, it's like there's like 100 different platforms to do texting, and when I got my skip tracing, somebody had to come into my office and verify that I had locked file cabinets and a locked door. And like, it was a big deal to get phone numbers skip trace. And now, there's everybody and their mother is offering skip tracing. And so I think now the challenge is to not go after bad data. So my suggestion to people is you pay for what you get. And if you're paying a cheap amount, chances are that that's been recycled and used by 100 different people, and you don't know how old that data is. So, it's easy now to text message and cold call and do the ringless voicemails, but now it comes back down to the data and making sure you have quality data. So, with our marketing, that's essentially what we're doing is we first start out by texting them. If they don't respond, then we hit them with a cold call. If they don't respond and they're a hot enough lead, at that point, we may drip off some direct mail to them. We really use the ringless voicemails and the email marketing more as a nurturing. So the people that are like, go away, we're not interested, I'll sell it in a year. Those are the people that we nurture through texting, ringless voicemails, and email marketing. And then, of course, you also need the online. So you need the Facebook ads to do the retargeting and PPC. So it's getting a lot more complicated. Like, it was nice back in like 2016 when you could just do PPC or just do direct mail, but because of the competitive nature of everything, I think you don't have to be super complicated as far as like we're doing it one at a time. But starting out, sending everything to a texting platform, sending everything to a cold calling, sending everything to a Facebook. It's kind of like you do have to do multi-channel to really have success now.